we have here the one and only Nornagest from Enthroned. How you doing, sir?
All good, all good. And yourself?
I'm doing fine, just fine. It's not that cold in here yet, but persevering, like they say.
Yeah, here it's pretty dark and pretty frosty.
No,
So,
I can relate. Perfect. So we're just gonna have a small discussion about Enthroned and about yourself, and also about the upcoming release of Ashspawn, which is that I had the privilege to listen to beforehand. Yeah, let's dig to it.
go for it.
Sure, appreciate it. Enthroned has carved its own path across decades of black metal evolution. And looking back, so what do you feel has remained the unchangeable core of Enthroned identity?
I would say that the concept and the mentality has evolved, of course, but remained the same. This band is about the belief and creating that kind of energy with and sound, with the sound. The sound carrying the best way to carry strong energies, and what is better than the most extreme form of sound. So this has remained the same from the beginning, like a vessel to carry the message that is behind the band. When a bit before Serenos, the founding member, passed away, he made me make a promise that I would, in case he would leave or not be there, I would keep that alive and safe. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Like
Yeah,
keeping that essence, that original essence, alive. And of course, the band changed
yeah,
a lot since then. Like we can see three different distinctive periods.
yeah,
But you know, inside we are still the same. But as we grow older, some things are getting more sharpened, and that that's what that's only the big difference, I would say, from me personally.
yeah. And if you can also clarify this single element that you refuse to compromise no matter what in Enthroned sound.
Yeah, that's maybe a difference between, I'm not going to say us, we are special. No. Like a lot of bands would just listen a lot to their fans or to the people. Um, like, for example, I know lots of people are complaining. like,
Yeah,
I should say, we should make another Prophecies of Pagan Fire or another Towards the Children of Satan.
yeah,
Well, like I said before, and 1,000 times, I love those albums.
yeah,
They are part of me. Prophecy of Pagan Fire was composed before I came in the band,
yeah,
but and I still really love that album. But those albums were done when we were what, 16, 17, 18, 19.
yeah,
That's that. And each album represents a period of the band. You know,
mm,
I can make another Prophecies of Pagan Fire, another Towards the Skill Throne tomorrow if I want. You know,
yeah,
but what's the point? That would be to please people, not the people who are in the band. And we are honest guys. We're gonna do what we love, what we want to do, and we are not one of those customs bands that will tailor our sound regarding what people want to hear. Otherwise, sorry, I'm just a whore if it's like that.
yeah,
And I'm not gonna be like that. So we always remain faithful to what we felt, what had to come out of our souls and hearts, and that's what we will always do. So that's what I mean by that, and no compromise for who the fuck ever it is. That's honesty is the most valuable thing that in the world for me, to me,
yeah.
and that's what it's gonna always be with Enthroned.
Perfectly said. Cool.
It's just the truth. So like
Yeah.
nothing to try to find words to find. It's just spitting out what's on the liver, you know.
So yeah, if we're gonna circle back again, you mentioned a lot of lineup changes, and the sound has gone through different phases across those lineup changes. And what do you see like as the most significant transformation in Throne's sound, and what drove those shifts?
Well, every time somebody else jumps in the band or is taken in the band, of course the sound is going to change because that person is going to put a bit of himself in the music, even a lot of himself in the music, especially I see now with T Chaos, who joined the band as the lead guitar player. He didn't even put a little bit of himself. He put his 200%. That was like, oh man, that did good. Like to have
Yeah.
somebody who was invested as much as I was into this band, and mentor as well. And this was just a life-changing thing. And of course, for example, a big significant change was when Sabatan left the band.
Yeah.
That's never easy. That's never easy when it's the front man who's leaving the band. But we continue. We were not gonna stop. He wanted to do his thing. It didn't fit with what Enthroned stood for, and therefore couldn't go together. So we continue our thing and made it like we always do, with heart and with honesty. And of course, then the sound changed a lot because another voice,
Yeah.
and then some aspects of the band were more enhanced than before. So
I guess it's fair to assume that with the Sabatan stepping down and you taking the lead vocals, that what produced the most dramatic internal shift, right?
yeah,
And honestly, I love the fact that Sabatan took another like how can I say, another path for his creative journey that gives us Enthroned that we know right now, right?
yeah, totally. It's a matter of opinion, though, of course. Like thing is, like before, like in that period, Enthroned was more like, if I can say, half of the band was really into the dark arts. The other
Yeah.
half was more on the blasphemous side. So, to remain honest towards what the band
Yeah.
was spreading, the band was at that kind of more blasphemous side than actually, you know.
Yeah.
So from the moment he left, like like there was no more holding back. Like everybody was on the same page in the band regarding that. So of course that more like theological aspect when become way more important, took a bit more space. So which was good for us because like nobody had like that kind of wall, if I can say. And we could just express
Yeah.
ourselves fully, 100%.
Perfect. So I'm gonna circle back again the thing that you said about the fans. But so when I did a little bit of research, like many fans feel that the band became sharper, more focused, and more ritualistic with each release. And with the next release, like Ashspawn, how conscious are you of honoring past chapters while pushing the sound further?
That's a good question. Like the thing that's why like we kind of call this part now like the third era of the band because
Yeah.
totally different approach. Like like I said before, we are the same, more
Yeah.
sharpened
Yep.
persons, so it reflects in the music. But let's be honest, like we are guys over 45, almost 50. We are even deeper into our belief system that we ever were. But we are too old to give a shit about anyone.
Yeah.
We respect the fans. That we fucking do. Like without the fans, without the people, we wouldn't be where we are. But like, when it comes to opinion and how our music and approaching things have to be done, like we don't give a damn about anyone, you know. So yeah, with this release, like there was no holding back anymore. Like before, we thought like, let's do this like this, or maybe that's gonna sound good, or like, no, we didn't. With this one, like haters are gonna hate, and they're gonna say, see, like
Yeah.
we didn't end up planning anything. We just spewed out what we had inside. The only guideline was that the music had to be a reflection of the lyrics, a good mirror of the lyrics. That was the only guideline for this album. And the fact that we were three men who see things on the same page, on the same line, on the same letter, helped a lot.
Yeah.
So basically, that whole album, even though it was 6 years between
The
Go
last
Back
one.
and this one,
Yeah.
this album took 1 year to write, to compose, and to record. So, which I'm still surprised about.
Yeah, with that being said, if we can identify one past album whose spirit directly informed Ashspawn and one that you intentionally rejected.
I would say Tetracarcist is an album that can be quite linked. Those two albums, Tetracarcist and Ashspawn, can be quite linked by their both essence and drive. One that would reject completely Ashspawn, I would say Armored Bestial Hell. that
Oh, okay.
that the approach couldn't be further from each other, and yeah, that's the alpha and omega, I would say, in our discography.
Yeah. And talking also about Ashspawn and the new videos that came out. One of the latest music videos that you guys released introduced a lot of striking in symbolism and darker visual narrative. And what was the main message or atmosphere that you wanted to project for this release?
For the video, like we just gave the lyrics to Chris from Eye of Saros, and we just sat down and talked about how we could represent these things. So basically, just ask how do you see that in your head, like, and how if it's about a lived experience, can you tell me about that experience? So I told him about the experience. I gave him the lyrics, how I and T Chaos saw the thing, and for 3-4 months of work, morning till evening, the poor guy was almost having a stroke. He worked his ass off, really, literally, from morning till evening for 3 months, every day. And the result is something like totally different from what you can see in video clips these days, I would say.
Yeah.
And it's pretty amazing what he made there. So he recreated everything in Unreal Engine 5, and some captures of sculptures and design I made. So he recreated that vision of Belial in the clip that Jose Gabriel did for the artwork. It was just simply fucking amazing. So, but that was a staggering, pain-striking work to make that thing.
Okay. So if you can name the primary symbol in the video that you wanted to show to people, and what the internal meaning it carries for you, not for the audience.
Well, obviously that's symbol of transformation, and then you have the several aspects in the video that represent that quite well. You have that old tired figures that goes to the pool of rejuvenation and got out of there as the personification of Belial coming out of that lake of fire. That is very it's a good mirror of the lyrics and of what I've been through the last years, as on a personal level. So that was something I really wanted to have in the video clip, and that was retranscribed quite well. That rebirth through fire, literally.
Yeah.
Like I'm somebody who wants always to see every obstacles in life as a game, something that is designed to be teared down and vanquished. And evolution doesn't escape that rule to me, and that song and that clip represent that very, very well, in my opinion.
Okay. And so with this representation, also the rebirth, like from fire, you've also always spoken about black metal as more than just music. It's like almost a discipline, a worldview. So how does this philosophy shape your writing and performance now?
It's like it has always done. We always did. I see personally black metal as a part of occultism and not as entertainment. To me, that has never been entertainment, although that's what it became after the big trend of the 90s for most. For me, I'm one of those traditionalists that obviously it's obvious by now that I don't care. Yeah, I guess.
I guess it's more about staying true to yourself that you don't care.
Yeah, no, like that's it. For me, that's what it is. Black metal has always been like a
Yeah.
way to express a belief system. And the music is like the soundtrack behind it. Like when
Yeah.
when you perform a meditation or something. And today it's only even stronger than it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So I guess it's not tomorrow that is gonna go down. So every gig I'm doing is getting reinforced.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like that for until I decide one day to stop.
So talking about black metal, not an entertainment, it's never gonna go down. Um, how like what is the daily or practical habit that reflects this philosophy in the writing process?
Oh, good question. Naturally, like something like I'm not sitting here like what am I gonna do, which is black metal today. That would that's you know no,
Yeah.
like it's just who you are, and when it comes, it comes. Like sometimes like you have that hole for months on end, like no inspiration, nothing, because simply nothing happens. You know,
Yeah.
and one day you just wake up, make a coffee, and then what the fuck is going on today? You have all those waves going on, like, and then, you know, and always in those days you have motherfuckers everywhere, like, and more annoying than usual. So that kind of helped for inspiration as well, you know. So yeah, it depends really. It depends from one day to day. It's like it's life, and black metal
Yeah.
is like that for me. Like it's a representation of a daily life thing. Not that I'm sitting down with a guitar or a pen writing lyrics or artworks or music. No, it's like yes, the simple thing you do in life, and it's gonna reflect into that.
That's also makes 100% true what you said earlier. Black metal is the soundtrack of the life that you're living, not a
Exactly,
form of entertainment.
exactly.
So we're gonna circle back again to Ashspawn, and without spoiling too much, what are the themes or emotional landscape you are exploring in the new album, and what give you the spark for the initial concept behind it?
Years ago, I've been through a difficult period, like everybody has in their moment. And I decided to put myself back in question and reevaluate everything. And I destroyed most of the thing that I was, and to reconstruct everything back on a healthy basis. And during that process, I was diving a lot into the concept of Edom Belial and in this Satyrian Satanism. So during those experiences, those practices, those meditations, that remise en question in French,
Yeah, like self-reflection.
that reflection.
Yeah.
um, I saw myself turning into a better version of the man I was, and the best version I could get of myself till today, like for the last almost 50 years. So this album retrace a bit that concept, that progress from down to up, from the bottomless pit to the top of the mountain, through those practices and travels, let's say, through the Edom
Yeah.
Belial. So this is the big concept of that album, which is basically sublimation, the transformation born from desolation.
And also, so I had the privilege again to have a sneak peek of the album. And one thing that really caught my attention were the vocals. So your vocal delivery has become one of the defining elements of the full Enthroned sound. And so, did the creation of Ashspawn and this new chapter push you vocally and mentally into new territory?
Yeah, totally. Um, just the fact that those lyrics were so deep and so personal, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
The renewal of the core of the band, that we went from a 5-piece to a 3-piece. We wanted to keep it that way now, except for live shows, of course. But as a
Yeah.
band, we're going to remain a 3-piece from now on. It's going to make things way easier. And those guys we are exactly, like I said, on the same vision of life and everything, you know. So when I was in the studio, I was like, for the first time, I didn't prepare almost anything. I had my lyrics, I knew the emotions,
Mm-hmm.
and I just stood there behind the microphone, and then I spewed what you hear on the album. And when I said earlier on, like, there was no compromises. We are too old. We don't give a shit what people think anymore. That was the right mindset at that moment when the vocal lines and the vocals came out. Because before I would think, no, I'm not going to do that because it might sound too much like X, or it's not going to.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't give a shit. I just put my emotion on that moment. And the only thing, like, we rearranged like some different placement that I would usually do, and the vocals that I wouldn't usually do, like those high pitch, almost witchy kind of vocals. Those came out of nowhere at some point. I just was like there, and it just came out.
Great.
The funny part, like, we were all serious. We were really invested into that concept when we record and everything. But we had that kind of funny situation when that voice came out. I saw those two heads jumping out through the window from the control room, like.
What's going on?
So it was like, does it sound ridiculous? So like, man, no fucking keep on doing that shit. So I was like, okay. So I continued to spit what was on the liver and whatever was telling me to sing, I would say.
Yeah.
And the result is what you hear on the album. So yeah, that did good to
Nice.
empty
Yeah.
the bag, let's say.
So I feel that literally, like the vocals were just a reflection of the emotions that were happening right there, right now, right there at the moment with
But it
those
was,
lyrics.
I would say, the last nail in the coffin of that transformation process.
Okay. Cool.
I would say that that's what people can expect from in the future as well, because I felt so it felt so natural, so good to do this. It was very. I never felt so liberating and so true to me. So I will definitely do like that for the rest until the end. So.
So we're gonna talk a little bit again back about the production. So right now, Enthroned discography is generally known of maintaining the same rawness without compromising the clarity. How do you approach the production process today compared to the past eras, and how would you approach it in the next project?
To me, a good production is a production that fits the music. Like for me, you take Transylvanian Hunger from Dark Throne. To me, that's an excellent production because it fits perfectly the music. Imagine
Yeah.
if you would have a behemoth sound on that. That would sound like shit. And the same, if you put Transylvanian Hunger on a behemoth album, that would sound like shit. If
Yeah.
your opinions, you know. So, like for this album, we approach things actually very differently. Like the problem was the big challenge for this album is like most of the studio and producers try to give that modern sound to everything.
Yeah.
A lot of compression on everything. So when we come with our big boots in the studio, and they're like, well, so what kind of sound do you want? Like, yeah, well, more something like analog, and then you have those
Yeah.
faces already like, what?
Really?
Yeah. So we approached this more like if the album would be recorded in early 90s or something like that. So that was a challenge because that art, that way to produce almost died, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and is overshadowed by all those effects, all those compressors, all those, and the mentality as well. You know, most of the producers these days don't know how to produce an album like it was produced in the 80s or 90s. So that was the thing. So we wanted to have something more like from a Covenant Morbid Angel approach
Oh,
rather than from a Dog Funeral or like whatever nowadays stuff.
yeah. Yeah.
That's what we did. Like the examples we brought in the studio, like to show, like were that like the first albums of Cat from Poland, like Morbid Angel
Mhm.
or Judas Priest. That was the thing we came out like something like that, but we're gonna twist our things around to make it sound like how it should
Better.
be.
Yeah.
So that was a big Chinese puzzle, if you want to say it like. But we are
Yeah.
really happy with the final result. I was a bit obvious about the vocals being that loud in the mix, to be honest. But in the end, it turned out quite okay.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was a totally different approach this time. Like we went backwards compared to most bands. They were like, "Oh, yeah, the
Yeah.
latest technology, the biggest sound. Like we wanted to be right in your face or anything." No, we just wanted to have the proper thing, what we had in our heads for those songs. Like go back a
Exactly.
bit,
Yeah.
more dynamic, more energy, rather than sounding like everybody else and soulless. You know, like
Yeah.
today's
And
everything is digitalized and loses that sparkle of flawless. That flaw that humanity has. We
yeah.
want
And yeah. So we're not 100% perfect. And also, I understood the fact that honoring and staying true to enthroned sound and vision.
yeah. Although
Yeah.
it's very different from the previous one, in a way.
More liberating. Great. So as the next cycle begins, so what should we expect from Enthroned on stage, either visually or in an atmospherical way during the Ashspawn era and what's coming next?
Well, on stage, it's gonna be like we usually do, like not a lot of artificial things or decor or props or anything like that. We don't need that. We just like five guys on stage delivering the goods, and that's what
Yeah.
it's gonna be. There's a big difference as well with the new lineup. Like we like those guys have really that live for that belief system, and you can really feel it on stage as well. The few shows we did with the new lineup, I think it's about 4
Mhm.
shows now,
Yeah.
were among the best shows I ever played.
Oh,
So, and the reaction of the people were just like sometimes a bit funny because they were like you know, like making those face like they didn't expect or something. So, yeah, no, we're delivering the goods. That's the most the thing. Like lots of intensity, brutal, and we're gonna retrace a bit more the history of Enthroned, revisiting some older songs as well, because we have been denying those songs a bit too long now, you know. So like we have let's say new version of songs from the demo times as well live now.
mhm. Oh,
Um, like one of the very first songs ever written by the band, Rites of the Northern Full Moon. Like we play that song again live now, with the energy of the new lineup, which is give that song another darkness, another depth, which is not more accessible. On the contrary, you know, like we keep the
yeah.
original spirit, but
Yeah.
a little bit more aggressive. So that's what you should expect from there's new shows. The big difference would be like we will be less present on stage from now on, because life,
Yeah.
like we all have jobs, we all have this, so, and we don't want to give people cheap shows neither, just for the sake to play concerts. So we want to give quality as well when people pay to see us. So we're becoming a bit more selective when it comes to shows, but yeah, that's the big difference for us, that we are reducing our live presence.
So quality over quantity.
Exactly.
So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for time. Thank you so much for accepting my interview request. So anything you want to add, Nornagest?
Well, I would really advise people who want to enjoy Ashspawn in its fullness to buy the CD. We won't get money of it, so buy it. So I don't say that to to sell some more to get money, no, because otherwise I'm in a wrong business. But you have to really read the lyrics, immerse yourself. The CD booklet was designed to really understand that concept. So I would really advise people to get the CD and drawn and immerse themselves in it. It's more an experience than entertainment, as I said.
Thank you. So guys, Ashspawn is going to be out anytime soon now. Don't forget, buy the CDs, otherwise we're not going to have the full Ashspawn experience. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.